Welcome to the Starting Over podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. This is part 3 of the World's Finest review. Please listen to part 2 and part 1, preferably in sequence, then come back to part 3, because there's a lot of stuff that I cover that makes everything else make sense. Does that make sense? Let's see how much more I can use the word make. All right, so what we're doing is, like I said, we've already went through all the super rares unknowingly. Definitely considering that. Gosh, I really do like that Harley Quinn. That Harley Quinn is great, so good. But and the world's finest in that Harley Quinn. Anyway, so as we're going to go forward, looking at the chases, there's some issues with the chases. Number one, I'm just going to say it up front. I think they are going to fill the role of the entities as a game mechanic in game state. That can be good or bad depending on how you feel. I also think that their shenanigan combinations are a little much, just a bit. It's just from how I'm seeing it, it's just a little much. At the other end of the spectrum, I think that some of your better players will make these things look way stronger than what they actually are in some cases, and then that frustration will cause players to want to nerf them. But there's nothing flat out that you can nerf. So this might lead to, I'm not going to say a rock ban, but you could see these cats be put in the same category as entities in limited. You can't play them. Now, I'm not on the rock board. I can't be like, yeah, this is going to happen, but it's a prediction because these things swing the meta real hard. And I don't see you not playing these if you have them, unless your theme team doesn't work. But even then, we've had enough Justice League and other keyword stuff to make all of this stuff really good. So let's go ahead and get on it, and then we're going to go into the ID cards that we are aware of and the implications of them as well. So first off is Kingdom Come Superman, and I'm going to go into each of these have 2 traits that are going to be shared. The point value is going to vary, but they're both going to share 2 traits. First is isolated from this world. Pretty much you start the game on the lower point value. You get to use that character. It has to be 6 squares away from the starting area, and if at any point in time your opponent rolls a crit hit, now note, this isn't just rolling double sixes. It has to be in an attack. It does not indicate that damage has to be dealt. Okay? Nor does it say it has to be your final attack result either. So it can be sort of stupid. Then you have the option to transform those characters to their last click. Now, when we start looking at these last clicks, you'll start to see that, yeah, this is stupid. Because if I paid 35 points, just in particular for this Superman, at 10 movement, hypersonic speed, 12 attack, super strength, 18 defense, impervious, and 4 damage, then yeah, that's a bit stupid. That's for 35 points. I'm just going to be honest. All right. Then you have the 200 point or max point trait, which is we will make things right again, which is they pretty much say, hey, you can't modify, our stats can't be modified unless it's by a Kingdom Come character. There's no effect that can modify us. It's almost like we've seen everything. Don't jack with us. Please don't jack with us. At the same time, it's like, no, I don't need your help. And I'm going to break down the implication of both of these before I really get into Superman real quick. And Superman is just the first one on the list. Number one, first implication. The isolation trait makes it so that you can field these characters, and you can't wild card the Kingdom Come ability. And the Kingdom Come ability is technically just range super senses without it being super senses. Okay? So that's nice. At the other end, you are looking at getting a very cheap wildcard abuse, because the majority of these characters don't just have Kingdom Come ability. Team ability. Like Superman has Superman Ally, Batman has Batman Ally, Wonder Woman has Justice League, Green Lantern has Justice Society or JSA, Shazam has Calculator, which is way more broken. Spectre has Mystics. So right there, your wild card abuse is I wouldn't say it's back because it never left, but it gets a lot stronger because of these. For how low you're investing in these figures. The next thing is we will make this right again. All that, like, oh, I got Rainbow Raider, I have Condiment King, I have, Chase Wonder Woman from Superman Wonder Woman. Those cats do not affect these characters at full points. They don't. I have the Yellow Lantern battery. No. I'm going to perplex down your attack. No, you're not. At the same time, you cannot perplex up their attack or perplex up their damage or have an effect that says, like, I'm next to you and I have defend and you get +1 defense. No. Now you can replace and you can swap stats. Okay, now that's important. You can replace and you can swap stats. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. So if you had the Watcher from the Galactic Guardians, you could switch the movement speed and the attack value if you so chose, but no. Not the best of decisions. In many cases, it's not that much difference, which is sort of insane. So this means also, like, you can't just like put 3 Henrys behind Superman and then watch him hit somebody for 9 damage. But you can give Superman the crossbow and then let him hit somebody for 8 damage with a ranged combat attack. So that's interesting, but at the other end, things like entities really do not work with them when you're trying to get a power-up, a stat power-up. And in many cases, the entities can't even provide stats. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be straight 100 about it. These stats are stupid. Too stupid. And the only downside to any of these chases is that they're 6 or 7 clicks deep. And even then, that's not bad for what you're getting. Now, for your point range, yeah, you're not going to like it. But I see all the stupid stuff that you can do. Okay, so are these game changers? Yes, these are game changers. Does this change the meta completely where you have to rethink how you play heroclix? No, but if you do not factor in the existence of these things, you will be screwed. I just finished talking to Daniel Joins, and we're going to end up talking about the set on the Quarry here. Hopefully, we'll have it out next week if I can get all my editing done. But the problem that he pointed out is like, hey, these things are so strong, you can win your local tournament real easily if you know what you're doing, or you might even win yourself a world championship. So let's get started. First off, there's Superman. You just look at his full point value at a 12 charge, 12 super strength, 19 defense, invincible, and 6 damage. That's a printed 6 damage, people. We haven't had that really on a standard figure in a long time. Like, yeah, like let's just look at it. So I'm gonna go into the realms, of course, and I'm just going to type damage equal to 6. Just I don't care what set it's in. Okay, so let's just see who has damage equal to 6 in normal heroclix, not all this other stuff. Okay, Shuma Gorath at top dial at 1,000 points has 6 printed damage. Zombie Galactus at 1,000 points has a printed 8 damage, which, dang, I didn't even know that. That's an incentive to play Zombie Galactus. Captain America Sentinel at a full 600 points starts off with 6 damage. Supreme Intelligence at 900 points has a printed 6 damage. Okay, so we go to Nick Fury from Hulk. On click 3, he has a printed 6 damage, which I didn't know that. Ultron Phalanx also has a printed 6 damage, but you're paying 300 points for him. Okay, and let's see, Hulk from Avengers Assembled, King Thor. That Hulk has it? Oh, his last click. His last click he does. Okay, so then we have Age of Ultron Hulk. Guardians of the Galaxy Morbius, when he's like fully drank the blood and organs of all those around him. The X-Men Blue Strike Force team base, the Shi'ar Imperial Guard team base at max. Worldbreaker Hulk, Chaos King, Avengers Prime, Galactus from Guardians of the Galaxy, Zoran the Tester. Let's go look at DC. Superman and Wonder Woman duo at max points. Anti-Monitor, Black Lantern, Skullship. No. That's the new one, the retail one. The Batman Superman robot at max points at 700 points. Brimstone at 400 points. Okay, and then he even gets it on click 2 at 400 points. Solaris at 800 points. You're getting the trend. This is a colossal level damage value. It is. It's colossal level damage value. You are normally not getting that printed ever. Like we already see your chances of getting that printed is on a duo figure, the Hulk, in the Hulk. Okay, in the Hulk. Congratulations. So right there, we already see that this is an issue. Now you go back and you combine him with Nightlight, and you just put a flurry character on him on the first, to make sure the flurry lines up on the first 2 clicks. And now you have a character that you just TK out, has a 6-move charge, and that can charge flurry for 6 damage. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I see this as, I'm not as a like, oh, winner. Like this isn't going to win you games. This will piss off your opponents and make them cry. But this won't straight up win you games. The 8 range is nice. The Superman ally is nice. That is great. But I do see characters like putting a hurt on Superman before he hurts you. Now at 35 points, he has this dumb power, which is really not good. It's not good for the game because it says, I want to farm in peace. Superman can use Incapacitate with 2 targets and an attack value of 12. Hit characters can't make ranged combat attacks during their next turn. So not only have I incapacitated you, you might take pushy damage, you might not, but more importantly, what I've set up is that you can't do ranged attacks. And with ranged attacks being the primary offense in this game, if you're able to say, hey, 2 characters 2 out of every 3 turns, I'm going to incap you so you can't make ranged attacks, that's going to be a problem. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Now, there's nothing stopping you from that power from being outwitted, but really, do you want to waste an outwit on shutting down Superman when you could try to, outwit the prob on another one of your opponent's figures? Which is again why these things are imbalanced. They're really imbalanced. Okay, so that's a problem. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Batman. Batman is comes in at his max points at 150, but he's still stupid because he's 6 clicks deep, running shot, 13 attack. No, I did not stutter. 13 attack, 18 defensive vulnerability, outwit, 6 range. I'm looking at him with the Star Sapphire battery so hard because you just give him a sniper rifle, or even more so, give him a crossbow, and now he's a 13 attack, 6 damage. Okay, or the sniper rifle, he's shooting from 10 squares away. Okay, so that's strong. That's really strong. Superman is limited to an 8 range with his effect. Batman's normal range is 6 with 2 targets. Okay, but here's where it gets very, very interesting, is that at the 150 point level, with the Batman ally in the Kingdom Come, with the running shot and the upfront mobility, even if your opponent is running the I have a 20 defense and blah 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 shenanigans, with a standard setup team, you have a high chance of hitting them with a 13 printed attack. Okay, like, I see Despotellus dead, like he's just done. I see Captain Marvel done. Okay, so I really, from a game design perspective, I see the impact Batman will have. I also see the fact that in a 300 point game, people will just gun him down. Oh, that's sort of sad. I didn't think that one through. Sorry, Batman fans. Anyway, yeah, he's just going. People are going to come and try to jack with him. But the other thing that's interesting with Batman is that he goes into the sidestep close combat guy, which he's really shallow. But if you just sort of throw him in there and be like, "Yep, 12 attack, close combat expert, Hail Mary, punch you in the face," it's like, well, yeah, that just happened. When he's at his 25 point value, he has combat reflexes, but of course he's freaking Batman, so he's going to be in hindering. So that functionally makes him a 20D up close. Then he has I monitor Gotham from the Batcave. Batman can use outwit with a range value of 10. Opposing characters 4 or more squares from him can't draw lines of fire to him. Now he has to be able to draw a line of fire. Unlike some other characters we're going to get into here shortly. But with a range value of 10, and you can't be targeted from, or you can't have lines of fire drawn to you, that if you're outside of 4 squares, that's really strong because that shuts down multiple effects. Okay, there's multiple effects you just can't happen. So you have a lot of negation going on. So your opponent has to get up front and close and personal, and also have anti-stealth to be able to outwit Batman. And again, that's too many resources. And you're paying, what, 30, 25 points for an outwit? Like, that's going back to Step It and Fetch It, Black Panther days, okay? That really is. And then you add in the fact that he has armor, Batman family, detective, future, and Gotham City keyword. Those are all viable keywords. All of them. So how are you going to take a moment back and say, like, oh, yeah, there's no disadvantages here. It's all candy. Saw candy ham. That's even more delicious. You put ham with nice sugary, maple syrupy brown sugar rub, and you get it in there, and you get the spiral cut, and ham. I don't eat ham that often. It's not good for me. I gotta watch it. High blood pressures in my family and other heart things. But man, when I eat some ham, Dark Logos eats honey baked ham, and that's not a paid endorsement because that stuff is good. All right, let's go on to Wonder Woman. This one definitely is on the meta on the meta sheet because she's really good. Now, you might say, Dark Logos, you were saying this 13 attack with Batman was the awesome. Why isn't it this great with Wonder Woman? Well, because she has charge and a 4 range and close combat expert. That's not great. I'm sorry. It really is not. Okay, the old school classic KC Wonder Woman was a lot better than this, and she had defend up front. Okay, so for 140, I wouldn't pay for this dial. Just wouldn't. Now, at 140, I would use her with Nightlight and use her to pump up somebody else with her power selection. Okay, I would do that. She has a really good power selection. Definitely if you want to make somebody more survivable or even a little bit more offensive, because super strength and blades and close combat expert and exploit, that's some good jazz. Okay, that's and I forgot all my jazz people. That's that's bad. That's the Heidi Ho man right there. Cap Calloway. That's Cap Calloway level jazz. There we go. It's Black History Month coming. There we go. All right, so she is probably, I would say, no matter how you slice it, she's probably number 2 or number 3, the most powerful low point dial figure chase. And here's why. We you know how we talked about how stupid Doc Magnus was earlier? Yeah, Doc Magnus, 2 OP. It doesn't have anything on Wonder Woman because she has 25 points, 18 defense super senses, and she says, I try to heal the broken world. Wonder Woman can use support with an attack value of 12. When she does, both she and or the target may be adjacent to opposing characters. Now, note my passive-aggressive sigh of pain. And I want you to understand that, like, these little figures can't move, they can't be placed when they're on their lower point dials. But this is what I want you to see, and this is the problem, okay? As a defensive player, I see this as I have a very deep figure. I'm able to pick map. Amazon Future Justice League Warrior. That's not hard to build a theme team around. I pick ranks. I pick Hank Pym's map. I pick insert, map with tons of choke points here. And what I do is I put Wonder Woman in the center and rally around her and just be like, this is Helm's Deep. This is the last stand. Gandalf isn't coming. What's up? Come on. Bring it. And I'll just make my stand. When you definitely start saying combining in Matter Rearranger Ring, if you just like, boom, you're on it. Like on the, first turn, like boom, 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 I'm over here. I'm putting up, permanent blocking terrain and, walling in. Like, I could make tons of different defensive formations using various resources and various team constructs. And then when you're telling me that, oh yeah, I can have my big guy based with an opposing figure and you're wailing on it and I can still heal you, and I don't have the disadvantages of like the White Lantern power battery or have to pack Indigo 1 with the Indigo Tribe stuff to do it. Like, For 25 points, for 25 points, I can do all of that. Yep. Sign me up. Sign me up. Now, some people will say dark logos support is a reactionary power. It doesn't always have active uses. It is useful for a few turns out of the game. If you're dependent on it, there's problems. I can understand that line of reasoning, but also if that comes from an aggressive action taking mindset. When you shift into a different, I can take your action mindset, then it becomes a whole different ball game. Because if I say you attack me every turn and do damage to my figures every turn, this power no longer becomes a passive sometimes action. And if I am able to negate energy explosion with, I don't know, Superman Red Prime or something like that, or, oh, stop your pulse wave with, yeah, Superman Blue, then yeah, guess what? And then still be a Justice League theme team. You're not energy explosioning me, you're not pulse waving me, and I can create a physical character wall. So what you gonna do? You would have to then have a character that be able to move through other characters to specifically whack Wonder Woman, and she has super senses. So, like I said, she's definitely, no matter how you slice it, a number 2, number 3 of the most powerful of these chases. Okay, when it comes to that lower point value, higher point value, complete booty, as my man Dragon used to say, and I can't support it. All right, next up is Green Lantern. You get a Just Society keyword, and team ability and Kingdom Come team ability. You get future Green Lantern Corps, Justice League, Justice Society, Mystical, and Politician. Even more easy to abuse. Okay. He has a 9 range, and this is going to be important here in just a second. Running shot, 10 movement, flight, 12 attack with TK, 20 defense, invincible, 4 damage range, combat expert. Now, for all those who never played classic Alan Scott, this is exactly his first click, minus the invincible. I gotta say, this is a very, very, very good recreation of that figure. Now, being 6 clicks deep is not my favorite thing, but going back with Nightlight says, "Hey, guy, there's somebody with defend on the first click. Guess what? You're right back. You're right back at hating whiz kids again. You're right back there. You're just 100% down to just, and because 170, yeah, he's your main guy. But it goes back to that whole sidekick feat that you used to have. It's like, oh, I have this one guy, he's able to share defense with my lower point guy. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll sidekick up my medic so you can't kill my medic. Now, the thing is, like, his defense, lowers out, bottoms out at 18, which is more than respectable. But then you get sidestep pulse wave at the middle of his dial, and it's like, oh, come on, did you really have to give him that? Considering that you can, like, slingshot him out there with TK and then be like, yeah, I pulse wave you for 4 damage for 5 squares away. Yeah, thank you very much. But let's go to his stupid level. I need another word. I've used that a lot. I got to think of something creative. I can't use abrasive because that's not quite it. I'm going to think of a new slang term. I'm going to create heroclix slang in just a bit. But I gotta think on it. I gotta think on it real quick. So I'm gonna do technical magic here. All right, techno magic. Resume. Okay, we're just gonna go with the word monstrosity. Yeah, monstrosity. And Green Lantern by far is. Green Lantern and Shazam on these lower point values are the game changers. Are really the game changers. And then you can argue Spectre, but we'll get to that shortly. First off, you have, at your 30-point dial, you have Barrier. Barrier, yes, I said it, Barrier, with a 9 range. That can either be used in teams that require double barrier, and you've lowered the bar lower than Jinx. I don't even know how you lowered the bar lower than Jinx, but you have, WizKids, and you just boom, you right there, and you have barrier, and so you can. Again, these characters can't be moved or carried or whatever, but you set up a situation where you can just rally around the spot, and your opponent has to come to you. And let's just say you have two people playing teams that use these chases, you're going to start seeing the reaction as a bombardment game. And it's going anyway. I'll get to that later. So you have barrier, so you're able to set up defensive positions. Then you got your special power. I protect from afar. Green Lantern can use perplex to target friendly characters regardless of line of fire. Still has to be within range, but you can put him in a corner somewhere, and as long as you're within 9 squares, he can perplex up friendlies and just be like, bam. This guy has more utility than Sky. I didn't even think you could have more utility perplex than Sky, but he does because he's freaking Green Lantern. Yeah. And so when you're able, let me just show you the stack chain that comes in. Wild card to JSA, defend 18 defense, barrier plus a perplex friendly anywhere. That is 3 levels of utility. That's 3 levels of utility right there. So it's so it's really strong. Let's go on to Shazam. The OPS going for $100, calling it now. Chase, unless they're really, really easy to get, which please, WizKids, make them 1 per brick. Shazam, no, man, like this isn't right. And let me explain to you mathematically why this isn't right. Your map is 24 squares long. Okay? Shazam has a hypersonic speed reach of 15. That is over half the map. TK's range is 8. 8 plus 15 is 23. He has a range value of 3, which means in hypersonic speed, he has a range value of 2. So when you add 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 15 is 25, which means that he can shoot the entire he can hit the entire map. Now, also, you have an interesting fact that in your starting area, on average, if it's a standard starting area, you take up 2 squares of that terrain, which functionally shrinks the map by 2. So you're looking at 22 squares in which he needs to cover. So he can functionally get in, slap somebody, and then slightly hide behind something if the starting area is set up just right on a flat open map or openish map. That's no, that should never happen. And at 170, I'm sorry, 170 is too cheap. Now, I know you might say, but Dark Logos, he doesn't have the stupid level attack values of the other chases. Oh, shoot, he doesn't have, stat values of the other chases? Okay, cool. Don't care. Really don't care. Because he has a mobility that's insane. But Dark Logos, 11 on a 20 isn't that great. Yeah, you have to have a 20. And even, let's just say, you have to have a 19 or a 20 for you not to really be afraid of him. At his point value, he comes in, zips up ultra heavy. and whacks you really hard. He's 7 clicks deep, which is very respectable. Like, I'm going to be very brutal here. The point formula for him is imbalanced. And the only reason it's balanced is, or pseudo balanced, is because of his rarity. That's it. Because if you put that on a super rare, that's a 215 point figure. At minimum, a 215 point figure. Okay? So, like look at freaking Kingdom Come Flash. Okay, he's maybe like 1 click longer, a lot less damage output with prob, no damage reduction, some super senses, like, and really like functionally less powers. And he's more points than Shazam, but their mobility is almost the same? No, that's not right. That's not right. Okay, so this comes back to the issue with game design. Is a high move, what's the balance for a high move hypersonic speed? Okay, we established 10 is fair. 10 with range is more than strong enough. Okay, then you slap on the reality of the sniper rifle. Okay, 10 range with hypersonic speed, you know, okay, that's strong. But then you up the movement cost. You up the movement value. And you forget that, yeah, I can still put a sniper rifle on Billy Batson. Okay, I can still put a sniper rifle on him. So let's break down this formula again. Billy Batson plus sniper rifle plus TK. All right, we're just going to say the map functionally is open, completely open. Then you have just a standard starting area, nothing, absurd level starting area where it's like a square, just a straight square, rectangular, 2 square deep starting area. Okay, the map is 24 squares, so -2, so we're looking at functionally 22 squares of where I need to hit. Okay, my range during hypersonic speed is 5. Okay, so it's 5. All right, plus 15 movement. Bam, that's 20 squares right there. It's 20 squares covered. Okay, so right there, I can almost hit my opponent in their starting area by full moving in with a sniper rifle. No TK. So the moment my opponent literally steps out 2 squares away from their starting area, I can hit them. Yeah, that's real balance. Okay, so then add in, then go ahead and add in TK. That's 28. Okay, so what that does is that I can then say, okay, 28 minus 22 is 6. That gives me 6 squares of additional leeway to maneuver back. So I can get TK'd up, hypersonic speed in, attack just on the edge. I can hit even their back row, okay? Then back out 6 squares and hide behind something and zip in and do it again the next turn and get further back. Balance. So, yes, Shazam, $100 right there. Not even the secondary dial. $100 right there. Get prepared to make it rain. Just like the chicks do in the club when they pretend they're at the strip club, which is hilarious seeing chicks do that. But anyway, it gets better. It gets better. And this is, again, $100. Just, I'm telling you, get that wallet open, spread it wide, because you're not gonna have any cash. Luther's Lackey gives Shazam a double power action and remove an action token from adjacent friendly character. Now, this is a special power, And he also has a defend and an 18 defense. And he also has calculator team ability. You're starting to see the problems. You're starting to see the problem. Oh, my opponent rolls a critical hit. Oh, I get to go to running shot, pulse wave with my 3 range. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but okay, running shot, pulse wave with my 3 range, toughness and prob. Okay, I don't know, like the crack. No, this is cocaine. Whiz kids are high class rich people. It's cocaine because if my opponent gets a crit hit for this 30 points, not even dealing damage, not even you just roll a crit hit, not even it. Oh, I probbed it, but I still get Shazam. Okay, so I have a probber now. I previously had a defender and a guy, and I'm going to get to Luther's Lackey real quick after this. But I had a defender, but now I have a character that, oh yeah, I can just shift my construct to, and now he has a 10 range freaking beater for 30 points. Yeah, I ripped that one off of Dial H, so yeah, and then even I pulse wave for 5 squares, 3 damage. I can prob 10 squares away because I'm Shazam. Really? So let's look at the implication of Luther's Lackey. First off, it is a double power action, so this can't happen every turn. But when you really start to break it down, you establish a perpetual motion machine for a character with Indomitable, or Power Cosmic Quintessence, or doesn't take pushing damage. So let's look at how this goes. Action 1, I act, put token on figure. Action 2, I act, put token on figure. Turn 3, double power action with Shazam, remove the token. Remove a token from the main character. Now I can attack again. Okay, well, not perpetual action, so it allows you to act 3 turns out of 4. So 3 turns out of 4, yeah. So then you have to then clear Shazam, clear the other attacker, and then go back to attack. Actually, shoot, you don't even have to do that. Actually, it's perpetual. It's perpetual because you attack, take a token, double power action with Shazam, take the token off. That character attacks. Make them slow down. How about I just add a figure? Let's just say Superman. Superman attacks. Double power action with Shazam. Take the token off. Superman attacks again. You have to clear Shazam. Nope, it still doesn't add up. You got to clear. Yeah, you still have to clear Shazam. But still, it's pretty much about 3 turns. 3 turns in a row that you can act. Because even if you did, Superman would attack, then you would end up, just double power action with Shazam. Again, I take a token off. You're just able to do like 3 turns in a row in attacking. Now, for some people, they might say like, well, that's not too big of a deal. And I was like, have you seen these other chases? Like, I mean, that's Shazam. Like, I hypersonic speed up. I mean, no, I said Shazam. I can't play 2 Shazams. But like, let's say I have Kingdom Come Flash. Just saying. Okay, I got Kingdom Come Flash, and he's zippity doo-dah all over the map, and then he's pushed, and then I'm like, oh yeah, double power action Shazam. Here's a back rub, and here's some more lightning. It's magic. Go back and do Speed Force things another turn. What? No. So overall, it's silly because guess what? I can copy I'm a wild card. I could copy ATAs on my force that are copyable. Oh, I could copy Hydra. So if you post up by me, I can, lower defenses as you attack them. Oh, guess what? I can copy shield. So now I can increase your range. And if I really don't want to take a double power action, I can just take a standard action and increase your damage output while I'm giving you my magical aura of an 18 defense. Oh, all you guys have energy shield deflection? Oh, all you guys are, hanging out next to Captain Marvel? Pfft, yeah, it's just not fun. Not fun. Okay, last up is Spectre, and I didn't even think I would really rant this long. But I am. So yeah. Anyway, last up is Spectre. Spectre is as a supporty guy is really strong because he has a 12 range. And the temptation is to put Spectre in the middle of the map, which I would not advise. And we'll see here in a moment why. Okay, Spectre, Kingdom Come team ability, Mystics team ability. 130 points, which is really cheap for what he does. But what he does also is really not as good, but we can massage that really well. Phasing, all dial with 11 movement up front, 12 attack, side blast, then he goes into precision strike. 7 clicks deep, mind you, which is a plus. Super senses with a 19D. And for 3 clicks, then energy shield deflection, and then prop first 3 click shape change the last 4. Now, why is he strong and why a lot of people will overlook him? First off, he needs massaging. Like at 130 points, he's good. Like flat out, if I was to pay 130 points for this, I would, if even if it said a trait, these values are locked, I would pay 130 points for this character. Next up, he really needs hypersonic speed or running shot, which, in all honesty, is not hard for him to get. Definitely now. Not after this set. That's not hard for him to get. So, you're like saying, like, what? What do you mean? I've been saying this the entire time. Nightlight, man. Just find somebody, or heck, use Nightlight himself and just put him in there. Now he has hypersonic speed on the first click with a 12 range and 11 movement, which functionally gives him a 17 swing. That's really good. If you didn't know, that's very high. That's better than most running shot figures. Okay, then you add in the fact that if you're really able to combine him with Black Hand, which really is your best option, you now get running shot. You pay 25 points. You're at 155, so now you have running shot, psychic blast, 12 range, 4 damage. That's really good. I'll take that with super senses, mind you. And then if you want to just be stationary, Black Hand has invulnerability, which gives you some form of damage reduction. So again, not bad. Keywords, a little crappy. Deity, future, mystical, nothing really substantial, because in the book he's just sort of floating around taking, what's the dude's dad? Alex Ross's dad through the freaking universe. That's really who that guy is Alex Ross's dad, if you read up on it. So, shifting into that precision strike is really nice. The damage values drop. The overall, like, the values are not amazing like you're looking at Shazam and Superman and even Batman. Like, it's really not amazing. But it is above average. It's that A- that makes you say, like, yeah, I can get something better, but, if that falls through, yeah, I'll take you to the prom. That's really what it is. Okay, you're not disappointed that you took Spectre to the prom, but at the same time you really wish that you were going out with Superman or Shazam. That's how it goes. All right, so next up is when we look at his lower point value at I set this world on a different path, special power. He has energy shield deflection and this power that allows him to use probability control to target a character regardless of line of fire. Now within 12 range. Now let's go back to what I said about the temptation of putting him out there in the center. because then he covers the whole map. But you don't want that because your opponent will murder him straight up and get that free 35 points. Okay, so you want to have him so that he covers enough of the forward field. Okay, and I would say, let's rephrase that. He covers enough of the midfield. Okay, that allows you to have a forward position, but not covers your opponent's entire starting area. Okay. And even really, I would give your opponent about 4 squares of buffer before Spectre actually has any effect on them. That way, if they want to come in on Spectre, they have to commit, more than a running shot. Okay? But let's look at it. Mystics to wildcard Mystics to your entire team. That used to be something. Not as much anymore, but that's fine. Cool. Probability control just about anywhere within range. Yeah, that's pretty boss. And energy shield deflection to give him a little bit more defense from range on top of his Kingdom Come ability, which gives him ghetto super senses. Yeah, I will. I'll take that. So let's do a rundown of the ID cards, because they're really just copy and paste of the other ID cards, but these things have stupid level influences now because WizKids didn't think. Okay, so I'm assuming they work just like the other ID cards. Excuse me. I would just assume so. But let's start looking at. We have Superman. We can summon in Superman. He has either Kal-El or Clark Kent. Inspiration, you can use Invincible. Right there, starting off, this common one made us... It's nice because if you were to get Invincible from Wonder Man, he was a rare card. So trying to get him was tough. And you were paying like $25, $35 for Wonder Man. Starting off, basic inspiration, Superman, this is great. You're not paying too much for Superman. Okay. Where this is going to start breaking the meta is that, hey, for a turn, I summon in freaking 200 point charge, 12 attack, super strength, 6 damage Superman. I want to curse right now, but I'm not, because it's a kid-friendly show, or at least T for T. But gosh, that sucks. And here's why I'm saying that sucks, because when you start looking at all of the Supermans of all time, Superman has probably been one of the most brokenest figures in this game. And when you think that you can go back and summon classic Kingdom Come Crisis Superman, the first Kingdom Come Superman, Earth 2 Superman, Legacy Superman, and it's like, or even Trinity War Superman, and it's like, oh. It's like, it's like for the rest of your Clicks career, if your venue plays Golden Age, you're going to have to deal with the possibility of that dumbness showing up. And part of you feels like you can't complain because you can do it too, but at the other end, it's like, oh, Superman. Next up is Batman. Let me also point out the other sort of stupid part. Since these ID cards have always allowed you to bring in a character at whatever point value you want, you can bring in for a turn Chase Superman with his I have eye beams of death to incapacitate your opponents for 30 points. So your stupid little, Despotellus on the field can summon in Superman for a turn. How you like me now? How you like me now? Go play some Toby Keith real quick. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's not even Michael Jackson bad. It's worse. It's so bad. Anyway, oh no, I need to phrase that. Not Michael Jackson bad. Anyway, going on, Batman. He allows you to use barrier, smoke cloud, and stealth, which is pretty much exactly what Black Panther I think was doing for you, or something similar. Or it might even be better than Black Panther because I'm not going there. But again, you can bring in cheapo Bruce Wayne. Yay. I mean, cheapo Batman and get a stupid outwit. Okay, going on. The Flash. Barry Allen is the name. I really wish they also added in Wally West on there, but it says Barry Allen. So you're able to summon in your Kingdom Come Flash or any of your other Flashes, which is fine as long as they have the name The Flash. Unfortunately, you will not be able to bring in your Dark Flash, which would have been awesome, but you can't. And then you get to modify your speed value by +3, which is not bad, but it could be better. But you're mainly looking at summoning in the Flash, and classically there's tons of Flashes that work. And then I just can see somebody like, yeah, let me jack with you. Here's my intercontinental missile to snipe points. It's called the Flash card. Boom! Flash hypersonic speed for 7 squares and zip that kills your pog and zips all the way back while I bury with my Alan Scott Green Lantern chase. Oh, come on! Come on! Come on! I thought of that on the first go. How can someone not see that? But okay, let me say something real quick. Hopefully they have you have to be within 5 squares, blah blah stuff. And if that's the case, then yeah, balanced. If not, dumb. Okay, so just saying. So Flash could do some cool stuff, but you're probably not going to see him. But if that doesn't have that, you don't have to be within 5 squares. Man, that's problems. All right, so go on. Green Arrow. This one I'm excited about because that one from the Gravity feed, you'll just see people play him for a turn and watch him like nuke your opponent. But yeah, this is good. Modify your attack value by +2 when making a ranged combat attack. That's a really good inspiration considering how high defenses are. So yeah. Now, I have a slight question for the back of my head, and I don't know if WizKids is answered this yet. If I summon in KC Superman and have his effect, or let's say KC Flash, would KC Flash's effect, the modified speed by +3, also be able to apply to my Kingdom Come figure? Let's just say I have Shazam. Would that work? Because if it did, that would be awesome because it is a Kingdom Come character giving the inspiration. Or is it generated from the ID card itself? So I don't know. So going on, there's Aquaman. We don't know what he does. He most likely is going to do what Namor does, which would be great for everybody because then you didn't have to spend, $20 getting a Namor card. But let's just say right now, I'm going to give a solid guess that it gives you a dolphin symbol. And while you're in water, let's just say if it doesn't give you +1 stats, it's going to give you stealth or something like that, which would make sense or at least be decent. Okay, next up is Batgirl with the real name Barbara Gordon. And it says modify attack value by +1. Okay. I see her as like, oh, cool. I need somebody cheap to summon in to possibly accelerate my my teleporter. So, yeah. Next up is Black Canary, which we've had a bunch of good Black Canaries. I think the last Black Canary that we had that's legal is prize support. So, there you go. Modify attack value by +1. So, okay, whatever. Blue Beetle, modify range value by +2. I'm sorry, this doesn't really cut it. I wouldn't summon a Blue Beetle for that. Power Girl, we don't know what it is, but it's probably going to get Charge or Super Strength or something along those lines, I'm assuming. Uh, Stargirl, modified defense value by +1. I see it. This one is questionable because I see this going multiple ways. I definitely with how crucial and weird stat values have been going, and then the fact that you're able to get these weird stat pumps here and there. I can see this going multiple ways. Steel, trying to make that new crappy Steel that they made in Superman Wonder Woman good. Modified defense values by +1. Again, crappy. No, I'm not summoning Steel. He's too many points and he sucks. Unless he needs outwit. Unless I need an outwit. A short range outwit. They always make him suck. And he's not that bad of a hero. He's not that bad. He's not an imitation Superman. He helped the Justice League so many times. I read the books. He's a good hero. He's a good hero. All right, back to the Atom. We don't have, well, pretty much we don't have the Atom, Booster Gold, Cyborg, Deadman, Firestorm, Hawkman, Katana, Nightwing, or any of those right now. So I'm just going to make guesses. You can be tiny size with the Atom, Booster Gold. You can use Prob on your opponent's attack. Cyborg is probably not going to give you Pulse Wave because that would make sense. But he probably is going to give you like +2 range or something like that. Deadman will probably allow you to temporarily use the Mystic's team ability or phasing teleport. Firestorm is probably going to let you use energy explosion or get +1 or 2 to your attack. Hawkman is going to give you close combat expert or +2 plus attack for a melee attack, or +2 for a melee attack, or +2 to melee damage. Katana is probably going to give you Blaze Claw's Fangs or Exploit Weakness. Nightwing is most likely going to do something that's going to allow you to use Teen Titans, most likely. Yeah. Shazam. Shazam. Inspiration, grant friendly characters, the Quintessence team ability. Now note, look at this, people. Number 21, he's going to be a rare. That's $20. $20 to $35 for this card. Vibe. You can use Force Blast and Quake. Nobody cares about you, Vibe. Nobody. Now, bringing in Vibe in as he has to like shut stuff down. I can see that as like a temporary control measure. So people might pay for Vibe. Vixen, you can use Super Senses. I'd rather bring in Spider-Man. So, sorry. Zatanna, use Phasing Teleport and the Justice League team ability, which means that you're on the same par as Vision. Which is good for your ants, so that you don't just have to burn the Vision card, so you can have a Zatanna card too. So watch out, the ants with phasing 2 turns in a row. That can be really strong. But Zatanna is expensive. That chick don't come cheap. You got to pay the ducats for that wonderful Vegas magic show. The case incentive, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Red Tornado cards, which unfortunately no one has put that up, and no one has put up the resource. So probably what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up revisiting these ID cards later. Okay. Now let me come in and talk about some implications for the set as I wrap things up, and I know we're going over an hour. Implication number 1, WizKids is trying to get it so that there are multiple strategies in the game that are active. Strategy number 1, brute force. That's always going to be there. Strategy number 2, different ways of playing defensive, not just shut down binary defensive, cheap barrier, high defenses and defend, but stuff like -1 defense, -1 attack, minus damage stuff, just for existing on the map. Definitely cool, shape chain super senses combos that are out there that are really great on certain figures. Tie up is a little bit better. Melee is a little bit more beefy, but still has some problems, like Melee always has. And then I think the just if you want to be a pure control guy, you have the most options that you've ever had in the game than any other point in time in the history of the game. So when we look at our three base categories of aggro, defense, and control or shenanigans, uh, we are in a very healthy place overall, because I would say slightly aggro is out of pace. It's slightly ahead than defense and control, but that's just the way games are. Aggro always has to be slightly ahead to make games end. I know that doesn't sound fair for you if you're a defensive control player like myself, but aggro always has to be ahead, because if defense exceeds aggro, the game will not end. So you have to establish an end-game state. If you fail to establish an end-game state where aggro and defense are exactly equal, then you're going to have problems. Now, if you're able to create defense and shenanigans to negate aggro, that's different. Or you're able to have a counter pressure, with your defense, then that's different. But what I'm mainly talking about is we don't want to deal with what Scott Crampton created a long time ago, which was Black Tom Cassidy and his witches, where he was able to underbuild when the rules were like that and just barrier off, and his opponents couldn't do anything. That team literally was pure defense, and he would win games. I think he won Clixathon with that. So you can see there the elements are there for everything to work out. The chases are OP, prepared to spend money. The ID cards coming back, that's a problem, because now, from a tactical perspective, the ID cards initially were one-shot things that you would bring in to give you a temporary buff. But if I'm going to assume that the Justice League teleporter works similar, not exact, but similar to the round table, then I'm going to say that the two things are pretty much interchangeable, because you're not getting anything right now that's like, oh my gosh, that's unique. Because the way I'm looking at it, these are copy and paste one-to-one parity. Now I will say this: there are some things that were powers or abilities that were higher rarity before that are now lower rarity, like the Superman card. The Superman card in particular is nice because it is a lower rarity to get invincible versus Wonder Man, which was a higher rarity card to get invincible. So that's great. Okay, but now you can start stacking, like I said, with the Ant team. It's like, oh yeah, Vision and Zatanna. I have these two cards over here. So when I need to move all of my ants, and yes, I did generate 16 of them, all of their movement actions are free actions. Okay, boom. I've not only clawed the lane, but surrounded you completely. You can't move. Yeah, you're going to sit there and take poison. Like really, really, really interesting plays can be done. Back to back, I have +2 range. Back to back, I have +3 movement. Back to back, hey guy, I have +1 attack, +1 damage for melee, +1 attack, +1 damage for range. Hey, I have super senses this turn and next turn. There are a lot of options now that it wasn't just break in case of glass. Will this save my buttocks? I pray to God it does. But next turn, I don't know what I'm going to do. You can actually say now, break in case of glass. Okay, cool, but I have another one that I can use as well. Okay. So that being there is really nice. The Pogs, with WizKids doing the Pogs, yeah, there's some That Harley Quinn is not balanced. There's too many effects that make her not balanced. For the number one fact is that if that Paul hits a Mystics, there's a couple of characters I could think of just straight up that will proc and will just punish you, and that's a free action and a free attack. That's too much. Back to the Kingdom Come chases. Does this incentivize you to buy boosters? From my perspective, no. From my perspective, no. And here's why. Your chance of pulling a God pack is really low. It's like winning the lottery. Okay. If you do pull a God pack, congratulations, WizKids just handed you $500. Okay. Now, sort of taking it back. If I bought $500 worth of product and then, went ahead and flipped $500 worth of product just so that I can get all of these chases and stuff, I'm still coming out ahead on time, effort, and several other things, just going ahead and buying these from the secondary market. Okay. Now, I am fully aware that, the prices of these, like Spectre is going to be low, and probably Wonder Woman up front at the beginning. So those would be the two that I personally will be gunning for. Shazam people are going to go for Shazam. He's the most obvious, the most OP out of all of them. The weakest one of them when it comes to their little last style thing is Superman. He's probably the second strongest offensively. So Superman will be snatched up. People will snatch up Batman because this is the first time we had a Kingdom Come Batman. People will grab Kingdom Come Green Lantern just because they want to have a Kingdom Come Green Lantern. But I see this trend of WizKids introducing a mechanic to print money, which is fine, that is way overpowered, and I don't see how you're going to rebalance these in the future. And I know someone could say, but Dark Logos, I can copycat. So yeah, you're going to give your opponent a 60-point lead so that you can copycat and steal away their Shazam or their Batman or their 25-point Wonder Woman. I really don't see that happening. So there's some problems here. There's some legit problems here. So overall, it's a good set. I thought this was going to be crap, in all honesty, and it wasn't. This is a very solid set. My only question is, how much R&D did this go through? That's it. How much R&D did this go through? So anyway, that's it. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me, man, this is a 3-day affair and you have 3 episodes for it. Yay. You can follow my random musings on Twitter. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. Tell me what you think of the set, because I mean, I like a good chunk of it. So definitely tell me what you think of the set. You can check out the buy list on the blog. I'm going to try to get that out as soon as they upload all the stuff inside of the unit section, because I usually just copy and paste from the unit section, if you haven't noticed. And what else? Yeah, you can go look in the description below to buy my shirt. I am coaching still. I know I haven't advertised coaching for a bit. I am coaching. It's $15 for an hour and $5 for a game. So if you just want a game with no coaching, then sure, tell me what the build total is, and I will bring something to play. All right. That's it. Thank you all for listening. And remember, we all have to start over sometime.